ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। दीपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा। To 3, chapter 9, Brahma's prayers for creative energy. And we are reading the section where Lord Brahma is offering various types of prayers for the creative work that is going to undertake. Now we are at text 12. Here Lord Brahma is praying that futility of the demigod worship and the power of pure devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. Text 12. नाति प्रसीदति तथोपचितोपचारैर् आराधितः सुरगणैर्हृदिबद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतदयया सदलभ्ययैको नानाजनेष्वहिता सुहृदन्तरात्मा. Translation.
My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as the supersoul just to show your causeless mercy. And you
You are
are
not
the
full of.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is it audible?
Yeah. Yeah. You are not very much satisfied. Text 12.
Yes, text 12. My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as the super soul just to show your causeless mercy. And you are the eternal well wisher, but you are unavailable for the non devotee. Purport. The demigods in the celestial heavenly planets who are appointed administrators of the material
Prabhuji, can
affairs.
you read translation? You are not audible.
Hare Krishna.
Hari bol, Prabhuji, he is audible.
Yes,
Oh,
Prabhuji, he's
yeah.
audible.
There is my.
Okay, our voice is audible, we can read.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes. Actually, Prabhuji,
Harshad Prabhu, we can hear you.
Yeah. So,
I
have
think
you lost?
Prabhuji is having some.
Yeah. So probably he's reconnected. No, he's still there. So I will continue reading.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can.
Purport. The demigods in the celestial heavenly planets who are appointed administrators of the material affairs are also devotees of the Lord. But at the same time, they have desires for material opulence and sense gratification. The Lord is so kind that he awards them all sorts of material happiness more than they can desire. But he is not satisfied with them because they are not pure devotees. The Lord does not want any one of his innumerable sons, the living entities, to remain in the material world of threefold miseries, to perpetually suffer the material pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. The demigods in the heavenly planets and many devotees on this planet also want to remain in the material world as devotees of the Lord and take advantage of material happiness. They do so at a risk of falling down to the lower status of existence, and this makes the Lord dissatisfied with them. Pure devotees are not desirous of any material enjoyment, nor are they averse to it. They completely dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord and perform nothing on their personal account. Arjuna is a good example. On his own sentiment, due to family affection, Arjuna did not want to fight, but finally, after hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavad Gita, he agreed to fight in the interests of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is very much satisfied with pure devotees because they do not act for sense gratification, but only in terms of Lord's desires. As Paramatma or Supersoul, he is situated in everyone's heart, always giving everyone the chance of good counsel. Thus, everyone should take the opportunity and render transcendental loving service to him wholly and solely. The non devotees, however, are neither like the demigods nor like the pure devotees, but are averse to the transcendental relationship with the Lord. They have revolted against the Lord and must perpetually undergo the reactions of their own activities. Bhagavad Gita 4.11 states, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. Although the Lord is equally kind to every living being, the living beings for their own part are able to please the Lord to either a greater or lesser extent. The demigods are called Sakama devotees, or devotees with material desires in mind, while the pure devotees are called Nishkama devotees because they have no desires for their personal interests. The Sakama devotees are self interested because they do not think of others and therefore they are not able to satisfy the Lord perfectly. Whereas the pure devotees take the missionary responsibility of turning non devotees into devotees and they are therefore able to satisfy the Lord more than the demigods. The Lord is unmindful of the non devotees, although he is sitting within everyone's heart as well wisher and super soul. However, he also gives them the chance to receive his mercy through his pure devotees who are engaged in missionary activities. Sometimes the Lord himself descends for missionary activities, as he did in the form of Lord Chaitanya. But mostly he sends his bona fide representatives, and thus he shows his causeless mercy towards the non devotees. The Lord is so satisfied with his pure devotees that he wants to give them the credit for missionary success, although he could do the work personally. This is the sign of his satisfaction with pure Nishkama devotees compared to the Sakama devotees. By such transcendental activities, the Lord simultaneously becomes free from the charge of partially and exhibits his pleasure with the devotees. Now, a question arises, if the Lord is sitting in the hearts of non devotees, why are they not moved to become devotees? It may be answered that the stubborn non devotees are like the barren land or alkaline field where no agricultural activities can be successful. As part and parcel of the Lord, every individual living entity has a minute quantity of independence. And by misuse of this minute independence, the non devotees commit offense after offense to both the Lord and his pure devotees engaged in missionary work. As a result of such acts, they become barren as an alkaline field where there is no strength to produce. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very beautiful verse and very beautiful purport. Am I audible? My connectivity is very, very low.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Now
you
you
are
are.
audible.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are
Hare
audible.
Krishna.
Haribol,
Yes,
you are audible, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji, you are
Prabhuji.
audible.
We can put in the chat maybe. Prabhuji, can you put in the chat that Prabhuji is audible?
I'm
Yes.
right.
Hare Krishna, am I audible? Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes,
you are
Prabhuji,
audible.
you are audible.
Yeah, sorry. It's very bad connectivity here. So here Brahmaji prays, my Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods. Now look at this. Everybody is worshipping the Supreme Lord. The living entities, they are worshipping jivas. The pure devotees, they are worshipping, and demigods are also worshipping. So Brahmaji prays, my Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods, who arrange for your worship very pompously. Okay, there is a huge propaganda of the worship, arranged for the worship very pompously, with various paraphernalia, because who can compare with the facilities that demigods will have compared to the living entity, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as Antaryami, just to show the causeless mercy. You are their eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotees. Beautiful comparison between the non-devotees, devotees, and the demigods, pure devotees and demigods. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that demigods in the heavenly planets, they are the appointed administrators of the material affairs. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, they are taking charge of certain department under them. Extensive powers they have. One can just imagine. Recently, there is so much of struggle for Palak Mantri of this district and another district, or who gets which ministry. Now, this is we are talking about the global affairs, universal affairs, not even global, universal affairs. And they are the in charge of that particular department across the universe. Vayu Devata, in charge of entire wind and Vayu. So they are extremely powerful. And when they are also great devotees of the Lord. But the difference is that many a times these personalities, the demigods, they are Sakama Bhakta. They have certain desire to enjoy the material world, the material hankerings. And Prabhupada says, they want to remain in the material world as the devotees of the Lord and take advantage of material happiness. Just like Indra is there. So Indra is a great devotee, very great devotee, but he has material desires, sakama karma. He is happy doing devotional service also. And some apsaras are dancing time to time, and he is drinking somaras, enjoying. People are glorifying him. People are doing sacrifice to him. And somewhere the sacrifice is stopped, like in Vrindavan, he will go in the rage of anger. He will try to destroy even Vrindavan. So demigods are great devotees, but they are sakama bhakta. They have the material hankerings. And because of the material hankerings, there is a chance of falling down into the material platform eventually. And that makes Lord dissatisfied with them. On the other hand, pure devotees, they are not desirous of any material enjoyment. Neither they are averse to it. So there is a on one hand, there is a Sakama Bhakta who wants to enjoy the material hankerings. On the other hand, there is a Tyagi. So there is a Bhogi and there is a Tyagi. The Tyagi wants to reject everything. He's just interested in renunciation, rejecting. But the devotee is between both of them. Neither he is hankering for the material happiness, neither he is enjoying the false pleasure of continual rejection. Example here is example of Arjuna, who was a great devotee of the Lord. So one can see actually the Pandavas fought the battle, and Arjuna was very, very reluctant to fight the battle. But Pandavas fought the battle, paid a very heavy price for fighting that battle. What was the price Pandavas paid? Look at Uttara, because here, her son Parikshit is there, hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Uttara lost her father, lost her brother, lost her husband, and on the verge of losing the son who was attacked with Brahmastra. Right. Pandavas, they lost all their children. They are only 5 Upa Pandavas. 5 of them, they lost Abhimanyu, barely could save Parikshit. So it is not that after the war there was everywhere just devastation. But still Pandavas fought the war as a service to the Supreme Lord, paying a very heavy personal price. So Arjuna, Prabhupada says, is a good example.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you are not audible.
Guruji,
Audible, completely not audible.
Now you are audible, Prabhuji.
I'm not in my place, so okay, we can do one thing. You can just have a reading today, and I will just drop off because I tried at various places sitting in this house for connectivity, but there is very bad connectivity. I could not hear anything of the purport actually. So if it is tolerable, we can continue. Otherwise, you continue with the reading tomorrow. I will
can
Guruji,
hear
cover the
now.
you are
topics.
audible, Prabhuji.
Now you are audible.
Okay. So this is how this is what is the vision of the Pandavas is, right? For the personal sense gratification, they are not acting. Whereas when it comes to the mission of the Supreme Lord, they are taking all the risk and all the inconvenience, and that this makes devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord, far dearer than the Sakam Bhakta, like the demigods. Further, Srila Prabhupada writes, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Although Lord is equally kind to everyone, Lord is more inclined towards the devotees. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. Okay. So the Lord is more inclined towards the devotees. Sakam devotees, they are having the self-interest, and therefore Lord also, you can see this reflecting in their prayers also. Later you see the prayers, all the demigods are offering prayers to Narasimhadev, and they say, oh my dear Narasimha, this Hiranyakashipu had taken this position, and we were not getting our proper share of the sacrifice. And the whole cosmic arrangement was, in fact, by reading the prayer, you can, or reading the mood of the prayer, you can guess who must be praying this, right? This is called as Sakama Bhakta. Whereas when Prahlad, when he's offering prayers, he's offering such beautiful, imbued in devotion, those kind of prayers. And this makes a devotee, the pure devotee of the Lord, more dearer than the Sakama Bhaktas. And then within the pure devotees, what to speak of those who are taking the missionary responsibilities, turning non-devotees into devotees. Right? They satisfy the Lord far more than the demigod. And therefore it is said, that Guru Arthi, it is said, Ebe Yash Gushuk Tribhuvana. What is that? What is the one line before that? That my spiritual master is sum total of all the demigods. So, Ebe Yash Gushuk Tribhuvana. That means the missionary devotee of the Lord makes Supreme Lord far more happier than even those who are involved in Sakama Bhakta and also managing big affairs in the universe. And this is prayer of directly Brahmaji. Okay, this is not some ISKCON devotee. Of course, Brahmaji is also ISKCON devotee, but he is the original personality. Okay, so he's praying like this. Lord, he also gives them a chance to receive his mercy through the pure devotees for others. And sometimes the Lord personally descends for the missionary activities, just like Lord Chaitanya, but mostly he will be sending his bona fide representatives. And thus, Nishkama devotees and the missionary devotees satisfy the Supreme Lord far more than the Sakama devotees. Prabhupada says, somebody may ask a question that if the Lord is sitting in the heart, he is Antaryami. Here it is, the Lord is referred as Antaryami. Then why Lord doesn't just switch on the, within? No, the Lord doesn't do somebody forcibly into a devotee because Lord loves his devotees. Lord loves the jiva, and love means freedom. So there is a minute independence the jiva has. This